Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to give you a little update here on the Hellcat. Hey, I finished the crash proofing. I tell you, I'd like to thank you, Steve at Killer Planes, for your crash proofing techniques. Let's see. Now, first of all, I'm gonna be honest. When I went to to get some rods, the carbon fiber rods to put in here, I was like a little short on funds, so I had to use a substitute. Steve at Killer Planes put carbon fiber rods in his planes to strengthen the fuselage and the wings. And he can actually plow the thing into the ground and it'll come out with minor damage. And you can do a little repair work and should be ready to go in a few minutes. So this is my first time doing crash proofing, and it was kind of fun. And it was a learning experience. But like I said, he used carbon fiber rods. My funds were a little low at the time, so I had to use substitutes, which were, I went the next size up. I think he used 5mm rods running through the fuselage and wings. I used 6mm and spruce. I used spruce. Now, I got the same, it gives me the same effect as the carbon fiber, and this is tough. You know, going up the next millimeter helped. And I'm not as good as he is, but he put like, I think 46 rods in his Dynam Hellcat. I only put, well, I couldn't even get that many in there. I think I put at least 10. So I'm good. Actually, about 12. I put 12 rods in. And it's still good. Now, this is what I did. I crash proof the cowl just like he did. I put rods running down through the cowl itself, and right up in the bottom I put that plastic in there, hot glued it in. That way this cowl is bulletproof. It'll survive a crash. And on the nose, I also crash proofed the nose as well too. I put plastic armor across the front of the nose. You know, that way, right at the motor mounts and so forth, that way it too can survive a crash. And that looks pretty good. Just got on there a little tight, but that's good. I got rods running through the fuselage, even through the tail. And like I said, it was really interesting. Let me show you something. That Gorilla Glue works pretty good. I don't know if you can, I hope you can see it in there, but you can see how the Gorilla Glue expands and locks everything in. This is my first time working with Gorilla Glue, and it's an interesting glue to work with. I'll pull that out. You have to spray a little water on it. Actually, it expands, but if you spray a little water on it, it expands even more. And so the areas where the rods are going through these, I guess you can say, formers and so forth, I hit that with Gorilla Glue. Anywhere where the rods would touch the foam, I hit it with Gorilla Glue. Spray a little water on it, let it sit overnight, expand it. I mean, this thing, it's pretty good. I did that with the tail too. One little thing I noticed when I pulled this out of the box, the elevator on this side was actually bent upward. Now I could have used hot water or something and straighten it out, but I decided to try a little something else. I got rods running through these elevators too. So what I did when I put the rods through the elevators, I flattened out that side that was bent up, drilled it through, then put the rods in, glued everything down, and now the elevator's even. I mean, this is a tough elevator. She barely flexes. I got rods running in the rudder as well too, following Steve's techniques. And here's one thing that I really like. When I first pulled these wings out, now even though this has a thick cord, a very thick cord, still, when I first pulled these wings out of the box, I was able to get some flex out of them. Now, that's not very good when you have a radio control plane, when you have wing flex. Now, one of the planes that I really dreaded to get, but it was real pretty, but I dreaded about it, was Dynam's Cessna Dynam's, Cessna 310, which is they call it the Grand Cruiser. Every video I see of that plane, I mean, she's a great flyer. But every video I see of it, you can see the wing tips are flexing. Even coming in for landing, they're flexing. We got one of the guys in our club who has one. And he doesn't fly maneuvers and crazy like everybody else. He just flies normal. But still, coming in for landings, you can actually see those wings tips bent upward. And when the plane passes overhead, with the sunlight hitting, you can actually see the sunlight going through the wings. So that kind of scared me, because I've seen planes, even foamies, the wings fold up on them. You know, that's nasty when they fold up and they go in. You got 1,000 pieces to deal with. That happened to one of the guys at the field, I think last summer. He had a nice Corsair and he was flying it along and the wings just folded up on him. Ooh, that was nasty. Now, Steve at Killer Planes, he did a preview of that Dynam Grand Cruiser. And he filled the wings with carbon rods and everything. And he put it through its paces, and those wings didn't flex. You know, like I said, watch his videos, Killer Planes, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm sold on his crash proofing. And this little bit of weight really doesn't hurt the plane, because it just stiffens the fuselage and wings. Like I said, there was some flex to this when I first pulled it out of the box. But after I put rods in here, I think I got about 4 rods in here. After I put rods in here, it won't move at all now. Won't move at all. So crash proofing really does work. I really like it. Now, one of the things I saw about this that I want to make a change of were the flaps. The flaps they had set were where you can pre-cut the flaps. I didn't like where it was, because I'm kind of like a stickler for details, especially when I want my plane to look scale. And the way they had the flaps set on here, where the cut came out about 1/4 inch above the flap line, this flap line here, and it came out 1/4 inch, which made your flaps longer, and you cut into the wing panel itself, which put it on the same level as the ailerons. And I'm like, that's not scale, because I've been watching some documentaries on the Hellcat, and they're pretty interesting. The Hellcat was a very interesting plane. Now, I wanted mine to be a little scale, and so I said I'm going to fill that back half in, and I'm going to redo this. But watching those documentaries, I saw where the flap's supposed to be, which is at this line here. And the interesting thing about the Hellcat, what made it a good dogfighter, was the flap. It was one of the first planes to actually have maneuvering flaps. The flaps acted somewhat like Fowler flaps, and they came. So when you got in a dogfight, you hit the Fowler flaps, and it actually came out a bit, which added to your wing area and made you more maneuverable. And if you wanted full flaps, then it went down to 10, 20, 30, and 40 degrees on the flaps. When it brought back up, it would slide back up, but it would stay out until you took it off from maneuvering, and it went right back in, which I thought was really interesting. So no wonder the thing was such a good dogfighter, and it earned the name Zero Killer. Now, that was very innovative right there. So I'm going to cut my flaps on the flap line here, that's in here, but I'm going to have the cut going diagonally forward. And I'm going to hinge them at the bottom. That way it kind of looks like a Fowler flap, but not really a Fowler. So that's what I'm going to do to mine. And I got a couple of nice servos that came to put in there that I got from Laser Toys. A couple of nice $3 servos. And after I get the servos installed, and I'm going to put some filler on some of these pots here, because even though this is my first time crash proofing, I did send the drill a little too far in some areas. So I'm going to put some filler like right here and so forth. I'm going to just put some filler. I fill that up, and I'm just going to put some filler over it, sand it, then it should be ready for painting, because I'm going to give this baby a whole new paint job. Alright guys, hey, just made a little short video. I want to show you what's going on with the Hellcat. a few other things I'm going to do too. I see where I can open up the engine, that dummy engine a little bit to allow more air to flow through. So that's about it. She's coming along nice. This has been a fun project. Like I said, I could have had this sucker together in a couple of hours and out at the field. But you know me, I like to modify. So, all right, hey, you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there and good flying to you.